Hi everyone, welcome into another episode of Matt Sports Talk, and in this video we are going to be going over all of the games from last night. So without further ado, we are going to dive into that, and before we do, if you are brand new to my channel, please either hit the like button down below, leave me a comment, or subscribe to my channel, and any one of those options helps me out greatly. I appreciate any feedback that you may provide me. And for those of you that are brand new to my channel, please subscribe. My goal is to hit 500 subscribers by the end of this year, so make sure that you subscribe. And for those of you that are already subscribed to my channel, thank you so much for doing so. I really appreciate that. So without further ado, we are going to dive into all of the games last night. First on the men's side, and we had a lot of exciting games last night, including one massive upset that we are going to dive into in this video. So the first matchup takes us to Indianapolis, Indiana, where Mount Vernon Nazarene faced off against the Knights of Marion. And the first time these two teams met, Mount Vernon won in Mount Vernon. This go around, it was the same thing. Mount Vernon, the winners here, 73-64. And leading the way for Mount Vernon. Mount Vernon had some really good productive scoring all the way around. 12 points by Peyton Heiss. He was 4 of 10 shooting, 2 of 3 from downtown. 2 of 2 at the line. He had 10 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals, so double-double for him. He also had 12 points from Trent Koning, who was 4 of 8 shooting. He was 3 of 6 at the line, 4 assists, 1 steal, 1 rebound. He also had 13 points for Reed Platfoot off 6 of 9 shooting, 1 of 2 from downtown, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, 1 block. 12 points for Devin Dreyer off 5 of 9 shooting. He had 3 rebounds, so go along with that. And then you also had 10 points for Abib, 4 of 6 shooting, 2 of 3 from beyond the arc. He had 3 rebounds, 1 assist, and 1 block, though, as well. And off the bench, you had Isaiah Brown in his first game back from injury, 3 points. He struggled shooting, but he did have 5 rebounds, 2 assists, and a steal, though. And then 7 minutes of action, Grant Burkholder did not score, but he had 1 assist and that in 7 minutes of action. And Kieran Granville off the bench, 11 points, 4 of 11 shooting, 3 of 4 at the line, 12 rebounds, 1 assist, and 3 blocks. Really good to see that. And MVNU shot really well from the field at 45, really good from 3 at 43. They really struggled at the free throw line, though, converting 10 out of 17 for 58%. So that was one downside for MVNU. And for the Knights shot worse from the field, albeit by not a lot, at 41, and they really struggled from 3 at just 30, and they were decent at the free throw line, 3 out of 6 for 50%. And leading the way for the Knights, who had 13 points by Ron Rutland III. He was 5 of 11 shooting, 3 of 5 from beyond the arc, though. He had 4 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 steal, 1 block. 13 points for Aaron Humphrey Jr. with 10 rebounds, so a double-double for him. 6 of 12 shooting, he had 1 assist and a steal. 11 points for Aiden Franks, and he struggled shooting, but he had 2 rebounds, 1 steal, 1 block, though. Only 4 points for Dylan Moles, but he had 1 assist, 1 steal, 1 block. 9 points for Josiah Gustin off 4 of 4 shooting, 12 rebounds, 1 assist, 3 steals, 2 blocks. It's really good balanced numbers there. And then off the bench, you had Joshua Renfro, 6 points with an assist, only 1 point for Alhaji Diallo with 1 rebound, 1 assist, and 1 steal. 3 points for Luke Carroll with two rebounds and a steal, and 4 points for Blake Russell with 2 rebounds, 1 assist. And that was your matchup there. The next matchup will take us up to Goshen, where number 24 Taylor faced off against the Maple Leafs of Goshen, and the Maple Leafs winning here in overtime, 79-78, for a massive upset. The first time in 4 years that the Maple Leafs have won back-to-back league conference games, and the first time that they have swept a doubleheader at home since December 4th of 2021. So really amazing to see this out of the Maple Leafs. And then, of course, I'll get to the women's recap video in a separate video coming up here in just a few minutes going over that. And looking at the stats for Taylor, they didn't shoot the ball bad from the field at 40, really struggled from 3 at 28, and really struggled at free throw line, converting 23 out of 34 for 67. Some bright spots for Taylor, 18 points for Isaiah Day. He did struggle shooting, but he was 3 of 4 at the line. 18 points for him. He had 7 rebounds, 2 assists, 4 steals, 1 block as well. 16 points for Anthony McGee. 9 of 12 at the line, though. He had 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 4 steals. Carson Gold did not score, but he had 2 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 steals. 13 points for Pete Combs. 4 of 7 shooting, 5 of 9 at the line. 7 rebounds, 2 assists, and 9 points for Nate Paulberg. Now, 3 of the 9 were at the free throw line, though. He also had 4 rebounds and an assist. And off the bench, you had TJ Davidson with 4 points off 2 of 3 shooting. And then Anor Wogar with 5 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist. 3 points for Levin Smith, Levin. He had 3 rebounds, 2 assists, and 2 blocks as well. And then 10 points for Nathan Baker, 3 of 7 shooting, 2 from beyond the arc, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, and 1 block. And then for the Maple Leafs shot, and this is really crazy because the Maple Leafs, they're dead last in the conference, but they had their best shooting game of the season, 56% from the field, 60 from beyond the arc. They did struggle at the free throw line, converting 9 out of 14 for 64. And leading the way for the Maple Leafs was Kenny May, 19 points, 8 of 13 shooting, 3 of 3 at the line, 8 rebounds, 1 assist, and a block. 5 points for Braden Allen off 2 of 3 shooting, but he had 5 rebounds, 5 assists, a steal, and a block, though. 6 points for Deacon Hill off 2 of 3 shooting, which included from beyond the arc. And then 17 points for Marcus Northern off 4 of 6 shooting from deep, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals. 5 points for Jaraj Minorovec with 2 steals, 3 rebounds. And off the bench, Savion Williams with 4 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals. 3 points for Jacob Carlson in just 5 minutes of action with a steal. And you also had Cameron Williams, 20 points off the bench, 6 of 9 shooting, 4 of 5 from beyond the arc. He had 4 assists, 2 steals, and 1 rebound. And that was your matchup there. The next matchup will take us to Winona Lake, Indiana, where number 1 Grace faced off against Spring Arbor. And Grace prevailing here in really another barn burner. Of course, they lost to Huntington at Huntington this past Saturday. And Grace prevailing here with a layup from Ian Roush and then free throws down the stretch to further ice it. 79-73, Grace survives a monster upset bid. And for the Cougars out of Michigan, they didn't have bad scoring at all. 18 points for Dante Favor with 7 of 16 shooting, was 4-4 at the line, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, a steal, and 4 blocks, though. It's really, really good to see that. 12 points for David Cundiff, 3 of 5 from deep. He had 2 assists, 1 steal, 1 rebound. 11 points for Travis Grayson. He did struggle shooting, but he had 4 assists, 3 steals, 3 rebounds, though. 7 points for Shane Reisky with 2 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal. 3 points for Warwick Elder in just 3 minutes of action, I might add. 2 points for Eli White, which was both a charity stripe, and then Aiden Zank did not score, but he had 2 rebounds and a steal, though. And then 9 points for Ty Reisky with 4 rebounds and 1 steal. And the Cougars shot 37 from the field, 27 from 3, so not really good numbers there, but they were really decent at the free throw line, converting 23 out of 30 for 76%. And meanwhile, for the Lancers, they shot way better from the field at 50 and pretty identical from 3 at 27 and slightly worse at the free throw line, albeit by not a lot, 18 out of 25 for 72. And leading the way for Grace was Tyler Rouse, 20 points, 7 of 10 shooting, 6 of 9 at the line, 6 rebounds, 1 steal, 2 blocks. 6 points for Grady Carpenter. He had 7 assists, 3 steals, 1 block, 2 rebounds. 8 points for Gage Sefton with 11 rebounds, so nearly a double-double, but not quite. 3 assists and 1 steal. 4-4 at the line, though, was Sefton. And off the bench, Michael Wellman had 8 points, 3 of 5 shooting, 1 of 2 from deep with a rebound. You also had Cannon Hauser, actually had 1 point at the free throw line. He also had an assist and a steal. 6 points for Gavin Benton, 2 of 4 shooting, 2 of 2 at the line with 1 rebound, 1 steal. And then Caleb Harold got some playing time in the last 3 minutes. He had 1 block. And then Luke Bricker, 10 minutes of action, 6 points, 2 of 4 shooting, which was all from deep, with 2 rebounds and a block. And that was your matchup there. The next matchup will take us to Mishawaka, Indiana, where number 10 Bethel hosted St. Francis. Bethel, no problem here, 101-85 the final score. Now Bethel, they got out to a 17-point lead at halftime, and that made all the difference there. And for St. Francis, they had some really good scoring, too. 19 points for Malachi King, 9 of 12 shooting. He had 6 rebounds and an assist. 6 points for Braden Messenger with 2 rebounds and a steal. And then you had 14 points for Mar Avance. Now, 5 of the 14 were at the free throw line, though. He also had 3 rebounds, 3 assists, and 2 steals. 7 points for Eugene Young Jr., 3 of 7 shooting. He had 3 rebounds, 3 assists, and a steal to go along with that. Only 4 points for Joe Reedy, but he had 2 rebounds, 2 assists, though. Then off the bench, Keyshawn McNeil with 2 points, but he had a steal. And then Javon Lewis really lit it up off the bench. 21 points, 9 of 11 shooting, 3 of 3 from deep, 3 assists, and 2 steals. And then you had Justin McNelkin in 1 minute of action getting some playing time. He had an assist. 8 points for Carson Rogers off 4 of 9 shooting, 11 rebounds, 2 assists, and a block. And then you also had Jordan Fernie, Sam Johnson, and Jack Turner all getting some playing time. Fernie and Johnson did not have any statistics. Turner, in 1 minute of action, he had 2 points, 1-of-1 shooting. He also had a rebound. And Trey Dillard, in 4 minutes of action, 2 points all at the free throw line. He had 1 rebound and 1 assist. The Cougars didn't shoot the ball bad from the field at 53, decent from 3 at 36, and 8 of 13 at the line for 61%. And meanwhile, for the Pilots, they were way better. Actually, they were slightly worse from the field at 52, but they were better from 3 at 41 and pretty identical at the free throw line, converting 15 out of 24 for 62. And looking at stats for Bethel, they had some really good balanced scoring. 17 points for Colin Comer, 5 of 10 shooting, 3 of 7 from deep, 4-4 at the line, 5 assists, 2 rebounds. You also had 8 points for Bo Jacque, all 4 of 6 shooting. He had 4 rebounds, 2 assists, and the steal as well. 15 points for Austin Kripe, 5 of 13 shooting, 4 of 6 of a line. He had 9 rebounds, 4 assists, and 5 steals, though. It's really good to see that. 14 points for Elonius Basilius, off 6 of 8 shooting, 2 of 2 at the line, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, and a steal. And you had 11 points for Luke McBride, off 4 of 8 shooting, 2 of 5 from deep, 4 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal. Off the bench, Mason Bales, 3 points with a rebound, and then Jameer Jefferson, 3 of 8 shooting, 4 of 9 at the line. He had 10 points off the bench, 12 rebounds, so double-double for him. 5 assists and the steal, and then 14 points for Carter Kent, all 5 of 10 shooting, 4 of 8 from deep with 3 rebounds, 1 assist. 3 points for Andrew Hedrick with a rebound plus an assist. 2 points for Alex Johnson in 2 minutes of action, and then Alex Ellenson, 4 points, 2 of 3 shooting with 3 blocks, 1 steal, 1 rebound. And that was your matchup there. The final matchup takes us to Lucky Arena in Marion, Indiana, where number 5 Indiana Wesleyan face off against the Foresters of Huntington. Now, the first time these two teams met at Huntington, the Foresters prevailing 66-63 with a late three-pointer with 20 seconds left. This go-around, it was all Indiana Wesleyan. They continue their dominance at home this year, 93-71, the final score here. And both these teams did not shoot the ball, and now Huntington didn't shoot the ball bad at all, but Indiana Wesleyan was just red hot, and that obviously made all the difference. So looking at the stats for Huntington, you had 21 points for Caden Johnson, 9 of 9 shooting. So, boy, what a job he did. 3 of 5 at the line. He had 7 rebounds, 4 assists. 13 points for Miles Good, 3 of 4 at the line. 3 assists, 1 steal, and 2 rebounds. Only 5 points for Cade Brenner, but he had 3 rebounds, though. Only 3 points for Keelane Lassisi, but he had 3 rebounds, 1 assist. And 14 points for Jackson Paul. Now, 5 of the 14 were at the free throw line, though. He had 5 assists, 1 steal, and 1 rebound. Then off the bench, 4 minutes of action, Jackson Jones had a rebound at 2 minutes of action. Taden Metzger had 2 rebounds off the bench. And then Landon Beagle, 9 points off the bench, 3 of 5 shooting, which was all from beyond the arc. 6 points for Matthew Spears in just 4 minutes of action, 2 of 3 shooting, 2 of 2 from deep with a rebound. And then Luke LaGrange, 2 minutes of action, did not score. And Huntington, they shot the ball really good from the field at 50, really good from 3 at 40. Kind of decent at the free throw line, converting 11 out of 17 for 64. But the Wildcats were way better from the field at a blistering 60%, 51% from deep, and 7 of 7 at the line for 100%, obviously. And the Wildcats had some really good scoring. 20 points for Cademan Bontrager, 9 of 13 shooting, 2 of 5 from deep, 6 rebounds, 1 assist. 14 points for Jake Smith, 6 of 8 shooting, 2 of 4 from deep, 5 assists, 2 rebounds. You had 18 points for Milla McCartney off 7 of 10 shooting, 4 of 6 from deep, 4 rebounds, 2 assists. 4 points for Julius Gizzi, but he had 1 rebound and an assist, though. And then 5 points for DJ Moore with 6 assists, 1 steal, 1 block, and 2 rebounds. And then off the bench, Matthew Brown getting some playing time. He had 1 assist in 2 minutes of action. Connor Hassong played the last minute of the game, no statistics. 3 points for Noah Reed in the final 2 minutes. And then Crew Gibson, 5 points, 1 of 4 shooting, 3 of 3 at the line, 4 rebounds, and an assist for him. You had 5 points for Marcus Ankney, 2 of 2 shooting with 4 rebounds and 3 assists. And then Cliff Gashumba got some playing time, no statistics. Kevin Sakis got some playing time as well. He had 6 rebounds, 1 assist, and 1 steal in 13 minutes of action. And the big one off the bench was Isaac Andrews. Really no surprise here. 19 points, 6 of 10 shooting, 4 of 7 from deep, 3 of 3 at the line, 2 assists. And that was your matchup there. And that concludes recapping all the matchups from last night. And then looking ahead to the games for Saturday, you'll have Goshen at St. Francis. And really, a really good game. America's Game of the Week. Number 10, Bethel at Receiving Votes Huntington. You'll also have number 24 Taylor at Marion, number 1 Grace at Mount Vernon Nazarene, and number 5 Indiana Wesleyan at Spring Arbor. So those are your matchups for Saturday. And looking at the updated standings with 5 conference games to go, Grace still that number 1 seed at 12-1. Bethel and Indiana Wesleyan tied for the 2 and the 3 seed at 10-3. Huntington and Taylor 2 games behind them, tied for the 4 and the 5 seed at 8-5. And then Mount Vernon Nazarene Spring Arbor tied for 6th and 7th, 3 games behind Huntington and Taylor. And then St. Francis solely the 8th seed, 2 games behind Spring Arbor and Mount Vernon Nazarene. St. Francis 3-10. Goshen and Marion 1 game out of the playoff spot at 2-11. And then in terms of overall record, 22-1 for Grace, 20-3 for Bethel and Indiana Wesleyan, 17-6 for Huntington, 16-7 for Taylor, 13-10 for Mount Vernon Nazarene, 12-11 for Spring Arbor, 8-14 for St. Francis, 9-14 for Goshen, and 5-18 for Marion. So that is an updated view of all of that. Pardon me. So if you did enjoy this video, please either like, comment, or subscribe. And any one of those options helps me out greatly. So thanks so much for tuning into this video. And my next videos will be coming out on Sunday, going over or recapping all the games from Saturday. So make sure that you stay tuned for that. And then on Monday, I'll be back with you going over the updated RPI numbers. Those will be coming out on Monday, and and I'm excited to talk about all of that. That'll be coming your way on Monday, and the next ARC and quad records do not come out until the 16th, don't come out until the 16th and 17th respectively. So again, make sure that you stay tuned for all of that. And finally, I'm going to, of course, I don't think I've shared this before, but I had created a basketball hoops account on Instagram going over all of the scores, and I've decided that I'm primarily going to stay here on YouTube, as that's really the easiest way for me to talk about all of this, including the ARC, the RPIs, the Massey ratings, recapping all the games, going over national tournament previews for, at least on the women's, just for the women's side, in terms of the 3 most competitive conferences. In my opinion, that are going to get the most teams in, meaning the GPAC, the Mid-South, and the Crossroads League. So this is going to be my primary and main platform to do all of that stuff. So please make sure that if you are not already subscribed to my channel, please do so you are first notified whenever I upload new episodes. And I'm looking forward and excited to be sharing all my content with you here on YouTube for the remainder of the season and for multiple seasons to come. So again, I'm thankful that I started doing these types of videos a little over a year ago, and it has really been a blessing being able to do this. So I truly appreciate you taking the time to watch these videos and subscribing. So again, please make sure that you do so if you are not already subscribed. Thanks so much for watching this video, and I will see you momentarily going over the updated women's videos. God bless.